Howdy, neighbors. Radio Goji here.
And I'm Sorlin Greg.
And more Downwell.
Welcome to part 173 of Downwell. Support for Squeeze the World of Gaming is brought to you by memes. Memes, they're what the internet is made of, other than porn.
We're still fucking around, so...
Yeah, we're taking a hiatus from being serious for a bit.
Who knows how long the hiatus will go? I'm just having fun just playing whatever.
We've opened the way, so... Am I doing that right?
Opened the way.
Okay, no, I'm sorry. No, this frog rides a unicycle. That frog sips tea.
So we're just gonna play Downwell for a bit, and then possibly go on to something else.
Yeah, maybe gonna play some FF14. Who knows? I miss FF14. I've been playing Neverwinter, trying to fill the hole. It's just not the same. Nothing quite like that pay per month MMO feeling.
Yeah.
I got a feeling, woo, that I'm paying $12 a month. Oh yeah, get youth. Hey, that fixes the one big problem with this run, is that you only have 2 things to choose from. I thought that said Caveman 2 for a minute. So what's new with you, Rado?
Well, I have been playing Final Fantasy XIV lately because the new patch came out.
Oh yeah, I saw that. Doesn't it add Kefka? That's so badass.
I believe so. I haven't done a lot of the new content yet because I actually want to see if I can. I want to see if I can get like my my eye level 330 gear before starting like the new story and whatnot. But I think all the new raids are all the Sigma Stigate stuff is based off of Final Fantasy VI.
Yeah, that's what I've heard.
So I don't know what all of the other bosses are. I believe Kefka is the 4th one. Mm-hmm. I do know that the first one though is Phantom Train.
Nice.
And
that's awesome.
Of course, everyone is already. I know that a lot of people were already calling for Godbert Manderville to suplex the train.
Yes. Yeah, that nostalgia thing seems to be big with MMOs. I know that the last big expansion in Neverwinter that people are still running shit for is based on Icewind Dale.
Oh, okay, cool.
Which is pretty cool.
Well, all the end game stuff for Final Fantasy has been stuff like the last group of boss raids were Final Fantasy V based. And the 24-man raids have been, at least for this particular expansion, have been based off of 12/Tactics.
Nice. Which I just started the other day after playing it after playing a little bit of it on the PS2 back in the day. It's a little rough looking. Good game though, still good. You know what it reminds me of heavily, and I don't think I realized it at the time.
It reminds you of 11?
No,
Because it reminded me of 11 when I played the demo back in the day.
It is. It reminds me a lot. Parts of it remind me a lot of 14. Specifically like the dots section that like transfers you from one area to another.
Oh, gotcha. I haven't really played 12, so I don't.
In terms of like the look and sound and feel of it, it reminds me a lot of the Star Wars prequels. Like it has
that's a good sign.
It has like the same bombastic soundtrack and like
the soundtrack.
You're a kid in the desert and there's like all these aliens everywhere and like you're a little kid who has like an alien salesman as like a mentor and I'm like you guys. Like, all of you guys, I'm checking the time, like, when did FF12 come out? Like, all of you watched the fucking Star Wars prequels right before you started development on this shit, didn't you?
I wouldn't be surprised. A lot of Final Fantasy games do have Star Wars as an influence.
Oh, absolutely.
I've heard 6 is a lot like, I haven't played all the way through 6, but I heard that's a lot like, Star Wars.
I played 1 and 2 when they were re-released on the GBA. The Dawn of, or DS, I can't remember, the Dawn of Souls or whatever, the upgraded version they did. And yeah, 2 is like the most like Star Wars-ish game, right down to having you fight like the evil emperor at the end. It's pretty blatant.
probably would have been a little bit more interested if Final Fantasy II was actually a good game, but...
Yeah, no, they remade it heavily for that, and it was still a pretty rough fucking game. I still haven't,
I've watched
3. The DS version of 3 was way too fucking much. Which Final Fantasy games have you beaten?
4, not counting MMOs, 4 and 9.
Huh.
9 is my favorite by far. 9 is fantastic.
I think I've only beaten 1, 2, the, Legend, if it counts. And...
Well, Legends, I wouldn't count Legend.
And 10.
I'm sorry.
That's fucking weird. Hey, FF10 was a good game for its time.
I've seen enough of FF10 to know that I never want to play it ever. It has nothing to do with the gameplay or anything like that. It's mostly the characters and the story.
Battle Rare! Ooh! Alright.
But, like, if they're counting spin-offs as well, I guess Final Fantasy Adventure, if you... No, it's technically a Mana game, but... Mystic Quest, beating that.
There are lots of, like... I was thinking about that the other day. There are lots of, like, weird holes and, like... my personal video game, like, knowledge in terms of, like, what I have and haven't played. And I feel like a lot of people are like that, and we talk about games as if we've played them, but we haven't.
I know.
Like, we talk about... Like, I remember you and I have had discussions and arguments about Final Fantasy VII before. I don't think either of us... I've never gotten past the first disc of Final Fantasy VII. I got out of Midgar.
I got out of Midgar. That's as far as I got, and then it wasn't anything to do with the game. It was just because I ADD'd off on other things and never got back to it.
But yeah, I was thinking about it. Like, I don't like... I've hardly beaten any Final Fantasies. I've never beaten Earthbound.
Oh, you should. Earthbound's good.
You know, I have pretty good coverage of all the Marios and Zeldas, but I've never beaten a Call of Duty game. Not that that's a big deal.
Not a big deal. You played one, you played them all.
I'm trying to think what else are like big game franchises. I can't remember if I've beaten Grand Theft Auto 3 or not.
I haven't.
I would have. That would be the only Grand Theft Auto game I've ever gotten close to beating.
I've played Grand Theft Auto games, but I've never gotten close to beating them.
I beat Red Dead Redemption, though, which kind of counts. I've never actually beaten the story of an Elder Scrolls game. Despite putting probably 60 hours into Skyrim.
Did you make Skyrim yet?
I've been meaning to. I've not made Skyrim yet, but we should, that would be fun to do sometime. Maybe we could do that on your Switch.
Yeah, probably.
I could make Skyrim, and we could do an LP, where Skyrim gets into wacky trouble. And
in Skyrim.
Typically, he goes to a town and tries to kill everyone and steal their pants, and that causes trouble.
I've just beaten, as far as Elder Scrolls goes, I've beaten like all of the ones that everyone else has played, like Oblivion and Skyrim, and that's pretty much it. I've played Morrowind, but that was just one of those that I've AD'd away from.
You know what else is shameful? I have never actually played an entire game of an entire match of any of the Civilization games to completion.
Oh.
And I own Civ 4 and Civ 5. I've never actually completely played a game of them. Despite, but if we're counting spin-offs, I have played many games of Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri, which is a fantastic game that's sort of like Civilization.
But in space.
But in space. I've never completed a game of Crusader Kings 2, but that's actually not at all abnormal, because playing an entire game of like the 250 years of Crusader Kings is like 100 hours long. Most people just quit when they get bored. Or when they, accidentally turn the entirety of Europe into a vassal state of the Swedish monarchy.
I'm sure people are willing to put...
It's a delightful game,
I'm sure
by the way.
If people are putting willing to put enough time into beating Persona 5, I'm sure you could finish a Crusader Kings game.
That's a game that's on Linux. You might like Crusader Kings. It's fun. You can.
I'm not huge on strategy games.
You can murder your. It's a strategy game for people who don't like strategy games. Honestly, my big thing with it is, and I went on a long like Asperger's rant about this to other Patrick once because he's big into Civilization. Is that the thing I don't like about most strategy games is how you control everything. Like, you're God, and you determine where every, unit on the map goes, every city, what they build, whether people starve, whether they put points into production or anything. Crusader Kings doesn't really do any of that. You play as a house, essentially. Like, you play as a dude in your family in, like, medieval Europe, and when you die, through natural causes, or you die in battle, or from poisoning, or assassination, or you fall off your horse, or any reason, whoever is your heir under your current succession rules, you become that player, and you just keep playing as this family down through the ages, essentially.
That's interesting. Let me tell you who's really into the strategy games, though, is my dad.
Yeah, I know he is.
He's, like, every time I go to visit, he's, like, playing Hearts of Iron.
Oh, yeah. Does he have Hearts of Iron 4?
Yes.
I've been meaning to pick that up at some point when it's on sale. I deliberated. This is another game I own but have barely played. The last time the Paradox shit went on sale on Steam, I deliberated for, like, 20 minutes because I had enough money to get either Stellaris, which is their Space 4X.
Jordan was playing that a good long while. I think he was playing
Hearts of Iron 4. And I bought Stellaris because it was newer and it didn't have any DLC out yet, so I could have like the whole experience at least for a while, whereas Hearts of Iron already has a ton of DLC out.
There's actually a game that I bought around Thanksgiving to play with my brother, and I never did. And that was, now I forget what it's called. Pulsar. Lost Colony, that's what it was.
Pulsar.
And the main draw of that, I mean, it's not a strategy game or anything like that. It's kind of like one of those, it's more multiplayer based, but it reminds, at least from what I had was described, kind of reminds me of like a Minecraft or Subnautica sort of situation. And but the thing is, like, when you have like a ship, like every player has like their own station at the ship. And I'm like, oh, so this is like, kind of the Star Trek game that I've always wanted to have made that never ever got made.
What's that, like that thing where you, what's that, because I played that once, the thing where you're all, like, different stations or whatever on the starship?
Yeah. I don't know if there's an actual game like that, is there?
What is that called?
I mean, other than Pulsar.
Hang on, let me Google it.
He's Googling it. But I've always wanted like a Star Trek thing like that, where like...
I played it with Brian and Pip and some of his friends. It's a starship game. Everyone mans different stations. I'm gonna try that. Because I was in... we played one round where I was in charge of the engines. Artemis Spaceship Bridge Simulator.
Oh, okay.
That's it. It's you can all play it together, or you can play it in like 60. This is it. It's like it simulates the experience of like being on a bridge. Like one player mans like the weapons, and one player is the captain. I mean, these people in this video are all dressed up. They're like turbo nerds. But yeah, Brian and Pip invited me over, and a couple other people, and we played this for a while. It was interesting. It was kind of fun to like disobey orders and like throw the mission into complete chaos sometimes. But yeah, that is a thing. That is a thing that exists.
Oh, cool.
And it's $6.99 on Steam. I don't know if it works for Linux though. You should really get a copy of Windows 10 at some point. Like, just for gaming, honestly. Well, like, even I have Windows 10 for gaming. Like...
I hate to sound... I really hate to sound crazy, but I'm really paranoid about Windows 10, so that's why I don't get it.
No, that's fair. I mean, we just heard about the whole, like, Intel thing.
And also, I don't know if, because, Windows is typically like a resource hog, because I know Ian is looking to dual boot his computer.
I was gonna say.
So he could, well, I mean, because that's one of the things he wanted to play was Final Fantasy 14. But he said he would probably need like a new hard drive. I'm like, yeah, if Windows 10 is gonna be taking up all your shit.
That is one thing. As somebody who has done both at various times, it is an order of magnitude easier to install Linux as a dual boot on a computer that already has Windows on it than it is to install Windows as a dual boot either on a computer that already has Linux on it. Linux is basically designed right out the box to already play nice with a system that already has Linux or Windows on it. It creates a grub screen when you sign in that lets you pick which operating system you want to boot into, all that good stuff.
Yeah, I mean, I also like the main thing is I primarily don't use my my PC for gaming anyway.
Yeah, I mean you've got the PS4.
I mean, if there's like a really cool game I really want to play on PC, then I'll get it. But if it works on Linux, but I mainly use PC for just editing videos and like watching tokusatsu shows, and that's pretty much it.
Cool. What is a tokusatsu show?
Super Sentai, Kamen Rider stuff.
Oh, okay. I'm like, is that some sort of like Japanese eel pornography? Because no. Right on, you do you.
Tokusatsu is literally Japanese for special, like the word they use for special effects.
Oh, cool.
And it like encompasses everything from like that stuff and like kaiju movies go under that too.
What are those game shows that they have in Japan that are all about like people getting hurt? What the fuck are they called? Where like the dude gets like tie kicked in his ass at random throughout the thing.
I have no idea. I don't watch that.
Oh, they're so amazing. I've seen clips of the Batsu shows. Those are so great, and I wish that like there was a channel in America that just showed them. Yeah, there's this. I saw this clip. There's this guy, and one of the gimmicks is that they randomly have like a dude come out and do like a tie kick to this dude's ass and like humiliate him in front of everybody. And there was this this thing where they had people's loved ones write letters to the show, and this one guy, he's the comedian who's on there, his like 6-year-old kid writes him a letter, and there's like this little video segment where he's like reading it, and he's talking about how like even though his dad isn't home like all the time, like he knows he loves him, and like sometimes people at school like make fun of my dad, but I'm like so proud of him and I love him so much, and like he's crying, and like everyone in the audience is crying, and he's like, Dad, I love you so much, and I just wanted you to know, flying tie kick. And he's crying, and everyone's crying, and he's crying because he knows he's about to get kicked in the ass. And this shirtless dude runs in and goes, oh, and kicks him in the ass and jips him across the studio. I'm like, this is the most amazing game show I have ever seen. Why can't we have this in the U.S.? Like, they got us beat.
There's probably regulations and shit.
Oh... But yeah.
Although like, they did dub Takeshi's Castle, so...
Oh yeah, that shit's great. MXC.
Yeah. Thanks, Beat Takeshi. You also brought us one of the worst NES games ever made.
Yes! This is a game made by someone who hates video games. He also, was in, What's-a-Majigger? Battle Royale.
Yeah. He's done like a little bit of everything, really.
Mm-hmm.
It's like kind of like one of them Renaissance men's. Like, Shigesato Itoi comes to mind as well. At least for me, because he's the guy who made Earthbound. But,
I was gonna say, he's the Earthbound guy, right?
Yeah, but he was also like...
the Earthbound guy.
He's mostly known for, like writing. But like, he's also been... He's been he was one of the regular guest judges on Iron Chef. And he owns a store that primarily makes what is it?
I didn't know he was a guest on Iron Chef. That's so cool.
Several times.
Did you and I ever watch Iron Chef and like we were watching the dude who made Earthbound and not even know it?
Possibly.
That's awesome.
I mean, I barely knew anything about Earthbound until like Smash Brothers came out, but you know,
like most people.
Like most people. Because when Earthbound was first released over here, it didn't do so good.
No, it did not.
I mean, the people who played it loved it, but everyone else was like, I'm not spending $80 for this big-ass box. And all the stores are like, we're not going to take up all the shelf space for this big-ass box.
And I mean, who would have known that the guy who made all of those wonderful Studio Ghibli movies also made Dark Souls? That was a joke.
Oh.
Both of them's last name is Miyazaki, but they're not the same person.
Oh, you know, I would have believed you.
No.
You want to play some?
Yeah, I'll play one. You know, anime was a mistake. Oh shit! Which one did you pick?
Boulder.
Oh shit! Okay, yeah, you're the one. Okay, that's the one with 6. I probably would have gone with that anyway. Oh,
yeah, this is just kind of a. I found this is just kind of a go-to game for.
It is a very fun game.
Just that's why I was doing it for like that update video and whatnot, because it's an easy game for me to talk over as well, because I can do decently enough while still like not paying full attention.
Come on, there we go. Good to the last drop.
Because I know that I'm not not anywhere near as good as this Greg is, but
Punch-o!
I was getting some pretty cool combos, I think.
Oh yeah. Well, I've also played this like
probably 10 times more than I have.
Like 30 hours at least. Yeah, this was like my game on the Vita for a while. Like it was the only thing I did with my Vita.
Yeah, I actually just went and recently installed it on my Vita because
Vita, sorry.
Whatever. Hey, at least you're not calling it the Vista. When I was working at GameStop when it came out, people were looking for PSP Vistas.
PSP Vistas. That reminds me of my days working in an office supply store where they would be looking for the Lamarck Lamarck ink instead of Lexmark and or what was it? Cyan. I need a Cyan and Magneto cartridge.
Magneto.
Hand to God, somebody said Cyan and Magneto.
Well, the color's kind of the same as what Magneto wears.
The best was when somebody asked me where they could if we carried Autobot Acrobat. And my response was perfectly straight faced. No, it's actually free. You can download it on Autobot.com. You know, I went to because DSA, 2 of our members had birthdays the same week as me, and somebody had a birthday party at his house, and they invited me because I had my birthday the same week, and because they like me, I guess. And somebody I know...
What could possibly go wrong?
Somebody I know from there came in, and the very first thing he asked me was when we were going to do another episode of our podcast, and could I please stop pronouncing it the Vita. Or the Vita.
Oh, this was recently. I thought this
was... this was like a couple days ago. It was, when are you guys going to do another episode of your podcast? And can you please stop mispronouncing the PlayStation Vita?
Well, the answer to the first one is whenever Greg can get around to editing. Because I think we still have like 2 episodes.
Yeah, they're not really topical anymore. We should probably just shoot some new... If you're still into it, we should just shoot some new ones.
Yeah, I'm up for whatever.
But we also have... The other thing is that problem with the storage space.
That's true. At least on SoundCloud.
What to do about that. Yeah.
Because didn't you say
didn't
you say that the Apple Store is still, or iOS is still has like unlimited space or whatever?
I'm not sure. I just know that SoundCloud has limited space,
which is bullshit.
Which unless you pay money.
Oh.
There's a shop. I'm like, where the fuck is the goddamn shop? Stay away from me, ghosts.
Because at first I thought you were talking about a one of your many Office Max stories. There was one that you told me where a guy was looking for ink cartridges, and then he started looking at like one that wouldn't fit in his printer, but because it was cheaper.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
It was like an Epson.
Yeah, people have done that before. Why can't I just buy this?
It's like, sure. He said, I think ink is ink.
Ink is ink, that's right. Oh, yeah, ink's ink, you know. And now, of course, they just refill it with ink in the station or whatever, so it doesn't matter. I should have taken the +1, but I really want knife and fork for the next one, assuming I make it to the next one.
Oh, yeah, to the aquifer or whatever.
I would... I probably fucked up now. Oh, hey, hello.
Well, like, I think by far my favorite Office Max story was when the homeless lady decided to move in.
Oh yeah, that was great. We couldn't get rid of her.
Because I remember that, like, when she was confronted about it, she said, like, the portly boy over there said it was okay, and all you had told her was that. Answered her question when she asked what the least populated area of the store was.
Yeah, that's right. She was like, "Where's the least?" I'm like, "Probably like all the way in the back by the
furniture or whatever."
Not the office, behind the office furniture, like the lamps and stuff. Like that's probably like the least crowded part of the store.
Why do you ask?
Yeah, I should have been like, "Why?" Please tell me. You know, the next time, if I'm ever working retail again, God willing I'm not.
God willing no one is.
And somebody asks me, you know, "Oh, where's your least populated part of the store?" I will not just go, "Oh, it's this area." Oh shit, I missed a
store or
a store.
Bubble.
Fuck, shit, piss. I swear a lot when I'm losing in this game. I don't have enough money to buy anything.
I don't have nearly as many like funny stories. I don't think.
I don't really have any funny stories about the call center where we both work, other than some wacky notes and the Dallas Cowboys, and ruining a lot of people's Christmases.
Yeah, we do that yearly.
Yeah.
I mean, all I can really think of like nowadays are like shit, people of certain vendors calling us and wasting our time, but like I guess
I'm screwed.
The funniest thing I can think of when I was working at GameStop at the very least was when
I'm sure you've got some good GameStop stories. Come on, some of those people are insane. I died.
Wow.
Your turn.
I remember like a lot of people because we still carried PS2s at the time.
Yeah, PS2s. Classic console.
People called it P2. I think that's just like a widespread thing though, because they say P3 or the 3. At least when
the 3.
Yeah, people are calling it the 3.
I can't believe they named the third Xbox the Xbox One.
But one of the things that always got me was some of the older clientele who are looking for stuff for their 2-year-old or whatever. The console itself was known as the game.
The game.
The PlayStation, the P2 game.
Okay.
And then the discs, or the actual game discs, were tapes.
The tapes, of course.
So
so
I had people coming asking for P2 tapes.
Can I get that Metal Gear Solid tape, fam? I need that Guitar Hero tape today.
I don't think anybody ever said they need Guitar Hero today. We would have been more than happy to give them all of the Guitar Heroes, because we had them sitting on the shelves for like $1 a piece.
Oh yeah, and Guitar Hero was king. That and sports games were king of the like 30-cent game.
I think the sports games still are. But the thing is, like, because of our trade-in policy, we didn't take in the plastic guitars and stuff.
Yeah.
So unless it was like a new copy of the game that came with the instruments,
you couldn't take it.
We didn't have instruments.
And now just look, if you had that, we could be on the internet and make it playing meme songs for lots of viewers. There's like, I was thinking about that the other day. There's like no good like rhythm game for people like me to play. Like I miss like I could download Stepmania, but like nobody plays Stepmania anymore.
No, they play they play Step. The people there's like all those still have like a big following. It's just not as apparent.
I never see it on Twitch or anything though.
Oh well, yeah.
What's the one? Is that Stepmania? What's the one with the the 3 buttons and then the 2 buttons on top and then the DJ thing.
Oh, that's Beatmania.
Beatmania.
Stepmania. Stepmania is the Dance Dance Revolution emulator thing.
Okay, I get that. Beatmania still has people on Twitch who play it who are like insanely good at the game, but like I never see anybody doing Stepmania. There's like no good. There's not a lot of good rhythm games on Steam. I have Audio Surf, I have Riff Racer, which is pretty good, but it's not the same thing at all. And there's like Osu, but that's more of a...
That's like Elite Beat Agents.
That's like Elite Beat Agents.
Oh, and Don.
And like everybody who's decent at that, or like plays at what I'd consider like a pro level, has like a drawing tablet that they use to do it instead of like a touch screen, because instead of the mouse.
Well,
and I'm like, well, I can't really get into that.
To be fair, that's how you originally played the game, was on a touchscreen. So.
Yeah, of course. That makes perfect sense. But so I would love to see a new rhythm game come out to capture people like Guitar Hero did.
Yeah, the only rhythm game I even think about playing most of the time nowadays is Theater Rhythm, the Final Fantasy one for the 3DS. I also have, Hatsune Miku games, but
I was about to say we also have Miku, but
I like the Miku games. The thing with the Miku games is with any rhythm game, in all honesty, is it's not necessarily the mechanics and whatnot. It's the songs that are available.
Yeah, that's fair.
And with a lot of the Miku games, I do find those catchy as hell. So I enjoy playing the songs on the game or whatever. I think that's one of the main reasons I like Theater Rhythm so much, is because it's just it's Final Fantasy music, but there's also like DLC for like other Square Enix games, like Chrono Trigger and The World Ends With You.
Like, I kind of wish I still had a plastic guitar so I could do like the Clone Hero stuff.
In all honesty, I think I still have a plastic guitar in the back of my car,
Really?
in my trunk.
Seriously?
I brought it over to your house one day to play Rock Band years ago and never took it out of the trunk.
Holy shit.
I still think it's back there.
We might have to check that later. Because they've got some, like, insane fucking shit that people play now.
Yeah, like Jason Paradise does.
Yeah, Jason more does, like, meme stuff. I don't follow him on Twitch or anything. I don't actually watch any of these people on Twitch, so I don't know if Jason actually plays, like, super hard stuff.
I mean, I don't subscribe to him, but I've seen some of his stuff on YouTube.
He puts the meme stuff on YouTube, but, like, there's other people who do, like, insane stuff that's just designed to, like, try and break people who are absurdly good at the game.
Well, I like how he did still put up some pretty good songs on there on YouTube anyway. I like the metal cover of Africa, and what was the other big one that I liked? Sandstorm.
There's this thing that some person keeps making. It's like a series. It's called Soulless, and it's on Soulless 3 right now. And that's what all the people who play Guitar Hero on Twitch are trying to full combo right now. And there's one guy who's one of like the best people in the world who's saying it's just completely impossible. They're like transitions that just the human hand like can't do, like jumping from one part of the song to another, and it's just nobody's going to be able to string them all together properly.
And plus, they're just making that just to fuck with you, so why even bother?
It's for the challenge.
It's not a challenge if there's no way to complete it. They're specifically made to fuck with you.
I'm surprised.
I wouldn't give them the makers what's the word I'm thinking of? The attention.
The attention. That's one of the things. Like, sorry, I threw off your concentration.
That's fine.
I'm surprised that like Kotaku or anybody isn't jumping on this. Like this weird resurgence in like the last year or so of people who play Guitar Hero on Twitch.
Okay, I mean,
it seems like it's come back, like it's come back around, which is weird.
I think that they would more sooner try to find reasons why it's racist.
Well, of course it's racist. The guitar is implicitly a racist instrument.
It's also misogynistic.
Yeah, well, it looks like a penis. And, you know, when I play guitar, I'm raping you with my musical penis, which, if I'm trying to play like a Rush song, I probably am raping you with my musical penis, because it sounds awful. I've been trying to learn, I've been trying to do a thing lately where I do a thing. I had an idea a few days ago that I would start trying to learn like a different song on guitar every week and actually try to like learn the entire song instead of like just learning riffs, which is what I do. And I chose Free Will by Rush as the first song, and that song not easy.
Well, the timing is weird on it.
Parts of that song... I
mean, don't get me wrong, amazing song, but...
Really, parts of that song really not easy to play. And I can't quite get the sliding part in the verses. The dun 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 dun. Not the
I know what you're saying.
That part's easy, but like
copyright played by Rush.
Yeah, when he's like, they were born in Lotus. That's like all sliding up and down the fretboard, and I'm like, holy fuck.
Alex Lifeson says you're welcome.
Because I'm like, okay, the intro's not that bad. I'm like, I'm like at the verse. I'm like, okay, this is good. Then that sliding part comes in, and I'm just like, I'm not gonna have this in a week.
Can you learn it on Rocksmith or something?
No, although I think that's DLC in Rocksmith. I just meant like learning it off of a guitar tab, but I know that the one Rush song they have on Rocksmith is Spirit of Radio. Which,
also a good song.
Yes, also a very good song, also a very difficult song. I can play the intro to that song. It's not... the difficulty is playing the intro to that song 100 times until you reach the part where it becomes something else.
They've had at least like 30 Rush songs on like Rock Band or whatever.
Oh yeah, they had packs, and they had the thing where I remember Guitar Hero or Rock Band had the thing where they did all of Moving Pictures as a DLC.
Oh. Not my favorite album, but
they're done. Yeah. It's a shame.
Who's on Guitar Hero or Rush?
Rush.
Oh, okay. I'm fine with that. I mean, they had a good run.
I'm just bummed that I never got to see them live, but
it's all right. I know I've mentioned this before, but a guy I used to work with named Luke at GameStop went to a Rush concert one time. And he said he had never been in a place with more sleeveless shirts and mullets than at a Rush concert.
Of course. Absolutely. What are you talking about? Somebody I know went to a Rush concert, and they said that the stereotype was true because she's a woman. And she had to go to the bathroom, and the line for the men's bathroom was ridiculous. And she was able to walk right into the women's room and go to the bathroom because... You know, it's a Rush concert. He's like, that stereotype is true, actually. I'm bummed that I didn't get to see them live. But there's a lot of wonderful bands that I've never had the opportunity to see live. Speaking of which, if you do want to see them, you better get tickets to see Slayer within the next year or so when they come to your town, because Slayer is calling it quits. After, 35 years?